The left is the original character design for Ryuk, and the right is what we got for Death Note. So as you know, I'm a professional manga and webtoon creator, and character designs are a big part of the process of creating characters that are both memorable and resonate with the readers. So today we're going to be looking at the character designs before and after for popular manga and anime series, and analyzing why I think they made those creative decisions. Make sure to like and comment for the algorithm. So I think this design change was actually really smart. The original human Ryuk version looks very similar to L, who's the main antagonist of Light Yagami, who's the main character in Death Note. So having two characters that look very similar is not so great. Not only that, he has the same hairstyle as Light Yagami, so there's kind of some overlap there, which also isn't too great. And yeah, when I think about what stands out more, right, you're definitely going to remember a monster looking creature versus a human. This is a lot more memorable and a lot more interesting when you have a human that's also talking to like an alien or monster counterpart versus just watching two human type characters talking to each other all the time. And for Shinigami, who are outworldly creatures, this makes sense. This is Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. So when I look at the original design for Tanjiro, he looks a little bit more cold, but also a little bit more feminine. And this is because of his eyes. His eyes are colder and just kind of look like that of a girl. And so it's kind of like harder to even tell the gender of Tanjiro in the original design versus like you clearly know that he's a boy on the newer design, and his eyes are not feminine, but they're also soft and genuine, which represents his character as a whole, right? And so when I think about Tanjiro's personality, this is just a better design decision. In addition, the scar on his head, his earrings and all that kind of stuff make him feel a little bit more not as bland. This character on the left has a more forgettable character design just because there's a little bit less details there. So key takeaway here is really looking at what the personality of the character is and designing characters from a visual perspective to match that kind of personality. Here is a before and after for Gaara from Naruto. Originally it seems like he has a dog. He looks more like an angsty boy versus like a psycho killer boy, but he was still like a Jinchuriki like demon kid. So I think there's a couple of key things here. One, having a dog kind of conflicts with another character, Kiba. So Kishimoto probably didn't want to have two characters that are both, you know, focused on dogs, so you can really only pick one. If one of Gaara's key themes is being alone, you probably don't want to have a dog. So it makes sense to have him be more alone. Secondly, he's also from the Sand Village. It makes sense to have him having sand and that kind of stuff. Thirdly, when you think about his character design, right, like what's more memorable when you look at these two, right? There's a lot of characters with dog companions, but there's not a lot of characters with gourds on their back. And so this design decision had both his powers in mind, where he's from in mind, and also made it in a cool way that's integrated into his actual appearance, which is pretty cool. And because Gaara starts off as an actual villain, he's a lot more intimidating here than actually here. And a lot of that is because I honestly think like the dog companion is a big part of that. If you know a character is nice to dogs or like other pets, like you just empathize with them more. They just seem like less of a psycho in my opinion.